Hey, Erin, welcome to Lunch with LeAnn.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. We are ready to launch. We welcome back Miss Erin. We're so happy to have you here. So today on Lunch with LeAnn, we have a repeat guest, Miss Erin Riley, but we're going to talk about something fun today. We're going to talk about laughter, right, Erin?
Yes. I need it.
The importance of, yeah, you and I laugh a lot with you.
Yeah.
I promise I won't laugh at your lunch though. So what do you got going on for lunch?
I don't know. I have a smoothie. But last time I was on here, if anybody's back watching, I had confessed that I put Red Bulls in my smoothie. And then since that time, I have actually overdosed on caffeine in a smoothie, which just means that I got incredibly sick with a headache, but I was extremely awake at the time. So, so now no caffeine in there. That's I just drink coffee now. But yeah, that's my lunch right now.
Yes.
But what are you having for lunch? What amazing thing are you having for lunch?
Well, I am having an amazing thing that my mom made for 4th of July, which came over, which is this bean salad. It's got green beans and kidney beans and garbanzo beans and onions. It's awesome. And vinegar. And then I haven't had time because some days we're just really busy, guys. So I will be making a salad out of this amazing head of lettuce that, again, like, that's why they call it a head.
Yeah. Did you grow that?
No, this was from Global Gardens again. They deliver
Nice.
every Tuesday, and it's lovely. And they gave us great vegetables. So I'm going to make some of those into a salad. But I couldn't resist, like, to show off a huge head of lettuce on Facebook Live. Like, how many people in the world do you think have done this?
I mean, it's a lot.
You think a lot of people have showed their heads of lettuce on Facebook Live, Erin Riley?
Probably. Who knows?
Man.
People do a lot of crazy things on Facebook Live. So
this is true. This is true.
Yeah.
And a lot of those things make us laugh, huh?
Yeah. Yes, we hope so.
That was a great segue. So, Erin, we're talking about laughter today, and tell me a little bit about your background. So you came here to talk about storytelling last time, but
yes.
Tell me a little bit about your background in comedy.
Okay, yes. So great segue, because if everybody joined last time or joining later, or just go back and listen to it, and then you'll understand that I have a long history with storytelling. At that storytelling, I found out that I really like to make people laugh. I mean, in general, I really do. And so then I ended up in a competition 2 years ago, actually around this time. I was in Boise's Funniest Person, and became a stand-up comic, and have loved it, got the bug. It's in my system now. So yeah, that's kind of, I also produce my own show. I've been on shows here in Boise, in Canyon County, Portland, San Diego, and Denver. And those were all because I got to travel for Link to conferences, and then at the same time got to do comedy. So it's been great.
I like that. Yeah, you got to take advantage of those travel opportunities, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. So
but
why
you've been to a comedy show of mine, right? So in a backyard.
I've been to 2 comedy shows of yours.
Yeah.
I saw an awesome one in a backyard that I went with my friend Megan, and we laughed real hard at you, or with you. Is it with you or at you? Like, what's the compliment? Okay.
Both.
Because I was laughing at your jokes, but
right.
And then we went, and I went with some Link friends to see you at another one, and I was laughing. I think they're great, even when I am the topic of some of your jokes.
Right. But I want to say the best compliment that I got was from HR. I'm not saying her name, but she said she almost peed her pants. And I was like, that is the greatest thing I've ever heard in my life. Thank you so much.
Not that anyone doesn't know who our HR person is.
I know, exactly.
So why comedy, Erin? I mean, what about comedy? Like, what got you hooked on it?
Yeah, so I am also, not only am I a storyteller, I'm also a very serious person. No, and I mean that in the sense that I can really take on and see a lot of negative in things and kind of dwell on it. And so anything that I can do to make myself laugh. So usually if it comes to things like, what kind of movie am I going to watch? I'm going to watch a comedy, and usually a rom-com because I love love. Or like podcasts, anything that can brighten my spirit, my heavy spirit sometimes. That's why comedy. And also I just find comedy to be extremely relatable to everybody, and extremely connecting to people. And who doesn't want to make someone else feel good? And if I can make 30 people laugh all at the same time and feel really good, then I go home really happy. So
yeah. And so laughter scientifically, does it help with people feeling good?
Oh, yes. Yeah. So as you know, I and maybe people who are watching, I have a support group for our personal assistants. So we have talked about laughter because right now we are in pretty heavy times, and it's kind of hard also as adults to just kind of laugh in general. Although I do laugh at myself quite a bit. So I did a little research. I got on the Googles. And I actually looked up laughter is the best medicine and found out all these really great health benefits, like laughter relaxes the body. And so you can actually, if you have a really good laugh, you can relax tension and your muscles for up to 45 minutes. Laughter can also boost the immune system. Although that doesn't mean that we can walk down the street laughing without masks on right now. That's not going to help us from what's happening right now. But it definitely, and I think that's just because everything is connected, right? Like really, I think we've talked about this, is that when we're stressed out, our immune system goes down. But if we can just kind of relax, that really helps to decrease our stress hormones, which actually lowers our immune system if we have an increase in them. So that's and it releases that natural feel-good chemical, those endorphins as well. So all sorts of things. And burns calories. It also says don't skip the gym. So
okay. So what we learned, that laughter is not a CDC guideline approved for your immune system, but does help your immune system lift, because it really does decrease those cortisol levels and increase that, and it doesn't replace the gym.
No, but you can burn if you laugh. It says from 10 to 15 minutes. I have it over on the side, so if you see me looking at the side, that's why. Laughing for 10 to 15 minutes a day can burn approximately 40 calories.
Oof.
If you're looking at that sort of thing. But, I actually had a therapy appointment yesterday because I have them weekly. And we were talking about laughter because I told her I was going to come on here. And she said, oh, I know doctors who prescribe their patients daily doses of laughter, even if it's fake.
Yeah.
Just 10 to 15 minutes, like eventually you'll get into it.
And it's kind of like the smiling thing, right? Like if you smile, even if you're not feeling like smiling, if you smile, it kind of gets those endorphins going and can kind of alter your mood.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, because it says on here, laughter lightens anger's heavy load, which I have multiple experiences with. So it's true.
It is true. It is true. So back in the day, like pre-pandemic, I would go to comedy shows or like yours, or I would go out with friends and sit around a table and share food and laugh. And what are some creative ways you have found to find laughter in what, since we're all isolating right now?
Yeah, that's a great question. One, podcasts. Two, movies. I mean, Netflix all over the place, right? And I'm not going to sit here and list all the recommendations because we'd be here forever. But locally, we do have, if you go to Lounge at the End of the Universe on Facebook, they work with Blue City Artists, which is a comedy production company locally here. And they have live shows all over the interwebs, kind of like Zoom, kind of like this. And so that's been a place to go to see our local comics still. Probably not me. I have not been writing, but who knows? Maybe someday. Also,
you're collecting material though, right? Like
yes,
you
exactly.
have to be having a whole lot of material.
Sure. Yeah. But also there are people like one of our local comics, Beth Norton, just did a comedy benefit show for Idaho Voices for Children. And she had some people, a comic from Denver, a comic from LA. So obviously what I'm asking you is to go out and do some research on Facebook if you feel so inclined to. I know that's kind of hard right now, but also Instagram. There are quite a few comedy shows going on online right now. So in real time comedy, that's my suggestion.
So how is it for comics when you're doing online, like to not get feedback from the audience? Like that's got to be weird because there isn't that. Like I've watched Jimmy Kimmel on his show, right? And like in the beginning, and even SNL, like in the beginning, some of those sketches were like painful to watch because you really do. It is a relationship, right, between the audience and the performer. So how does that work for those comics online?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. So I've been listening to a lot of comedy podcasts, obviously. So some comics aren't doing it at all. And I think it's mostly because they can't, they really work off a crowd and the feeling and seeing if things are working. And it's really hard when it's just silence. There are some people who do Zoom shows and they have, they ask the audience to unmute as long as you're paying attention and not having phone conversations, which I've also heard on Zoom shows, but so there'll be laughter in those. And I will say that the comedy shows that I've gone to recently always surprise me how much I'm missing going, because at one point I was going almost every day or every night of the week to some form of comedy, and that really has been missing in my life. And so, and I know for myself and for many other comics, comedy is also very cathartic. So it's really good to just laugh at yourself. For me personally, sometimes it was really a good way to, if something was bothering me, to just go up on stage, throw it out, see if it's funny, and then never have to think of it again unless it was a really good joke.
Unless it's, then you wanted to reference it. Well, yeah. We have Matt on our Facebook, and he's saying Erin is my favorite comic. So awesome. So you have a fan.
Yay!
Maybe that will inspire your writing. So, and I think a couple of other things, like I did some research because we talked about this yesterday. And, even subscribing to YouTube's channels, or I even think sharing old stories. So over the holiday, we had my mom came over for an outside picnic, and my sister was here for an outside picnic, and we were sharing. She had taken pictures, so we were sharing pictures. So even if you've told these stories before, if you're on, connecting with people, telling the stories, people you live with, people you work with, people you may get on the phone with, family members, those old stories, man, they're funny because you relate to them, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the whole thing. That's why comedy in my world, comedy is so important, and laughter is so important, because I think it's a really good bonding tool. Again, a relatable tool. how many family stories, you know, if you're close with your family, how many family stories do you have that all make you crack up, and then you try and tell it to somebody else and they're like,
it's not funny.
cool. Yeah, exactly. That's not that funny, but you know, I've had those times with my sister where we are just oh my gosh, can barely talk, and then we try and relay it to our dad, and he's like, cool, I'm glad you two are bonding though, so that's nice.
It's important. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember, I don't know if any of you, I'm a huge music fan. So and one of my favorite bands of all time, since I was young, was the Indigo Girls, or is the Indigo Girls. They're still performing, going strong. And on one of their live albums, I think it's Emily that says, you have to cry, or you have to laugh at yourself, or you cry your eyes out if you didn't. And I know I've heard it from a couple of other people, but I heard that pretty young life. So, you know, we've got to laugh at ourselves. It's good for our soul. We have 12:17, so Erin and I always go a little over. But do you have any final thoughts for everybody on laughter, or maybe a challenge?
Let's see. Oh my gosh. Now, like, this is a one thing that I didn't prepare for.
I know. I told her I was going to put her on the spot.
Oh, shoot. Off the cuff. What would I challenge you to do? Find something funny today, or at least by Friday. Share it. Share it with us. If you find a funny clip, if you find a funny story, anything, go on to the comments and share it so that we can, you know, relate together. We can become even better of a community. Yeah. So I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, we want to laugh, guys.
Yeah, or GIF or whatever they call it, you know, something funny.
Yeah, that's the debate. Is it GIF or GIF? But I feel like it's GIF. I don't know.
Really?
GIF. I don't know. No, I think it's GIF because it's G. I don't know. It's whatever comes out of my mouth. Let's start that debate. What do you think? We'll start a poll. Anyway, all right, you guys. Well, I hope you got a little bit of laughter from Lunch with LeAnn and Erin. We are very excited. Next week might look a little different. I am out of the office, so we will keep you posted on that. But upcoming fun things, we do have the ADA celebration coming up very soon. It's going to launch. It's going to be a whole couple of months of online fun and gathering and challenges. So stay tuned for that. We're very excited here at Lunch with LeAnn. We'll have some of the partner organizations and the sponsors here. So we look forward to having you all join us and celebrating 30 years of the ADA and getting fired up about our next 30 years of work we have ahead of us. So,
oh man, we've got some work, guys, but let's laugh through it.
Let's laugh through it and let's celebrate where we've been. So thanks, Erin, for joining us. And me and my head of lettuce my baby head of lettuce are gonna go now, but ciao everyone and have a good week. Thanks, Erin.
Bye.